So I'm here today to present to you my idea for my magazine called Rocker. So what is Rocker? So it's a rock magazine which will be distributed in the North London area, and it focuses on upcoming rock artists who are local to the area as well. And it will be an online and print-based magazine. So here is my mind map, and my mind map just shows my first ideas of how I would structure and set out the magazine. So it just includes the main things such as the colour scheme of the magazine, the price of it, where it will be distributed, my target audience, and so on. So my target audience for the magazine is 16 to 19-year-olds. And I got this target audience range as I conducted a survey for my research where I asked locals of North London what type of music genre magazine they'd be most interested in reading. And the feedback that I got showed that the majority of 16 to 19-year-olds were the ones who enjoyed reading about the genre of rock the most. So here is my mood board. And I made sure that my mood board was really bright and vibrant and gave off a really energetic feel, just like rock music does. So I thought that I just made sure to make it look very eye-catching and bold, just like rock genre. So these are 3 fonts which I am interested in using as my masthead. That's because, well, the first one I really liked as it was bold, and I thought it would make a really big statement. The second one I liked as well because it was kind of edgy, had a very edgy feel to it, so I thought that would also be very eye-catching. And then my final font is Elephant, and I thought this would be really nice as the subtitles within my magazine, as it is bold and strong but isn't too much. So distribution and price. The price of my magazine is £2.99. And I've chosen this price as I've taken into consideration that my target audience may not earn a lot of money, therefore they won't need to pay a lot for it. And then it will be distributed the first of every month, just to keep people excited when it comes out. And then my marketing methods. So I have done advertising where I'm going to make sure that I put it in music shops and in newsagents and supermarkets as well. When you buy the magazine, you get a free CD of the upcoming artist which is featured within the magazine as well. And the CD is also available for downloads at our website, which is www.rockart.com. So here is a front cover of my magazine. So the main image of my magazine will be of the upcoming artist featured. The main colour schemes will be white, red and black, as I feel like these colours are most relevant to the genre of rock. However, for some of the puffs involved and some of the side writing, I'm going to have more vibrant colours such as blues and greens, just to give it a little bit something extra. So this is my double-page spreadsheet, and that will also be dedicated to the upcoming artists featured, just so they both link really nicely together. And it will just contain an exclusive interview of that artist, so people get an idea of what he's like and his interests. And then the colour scheme will also be the same as the front cover, so they match together. And I've also made sure to add in some images as well, just to keep it nice, vibrant and fun to look at. So these are my magazines which are in competition, and they are sold within the North London area, and they are my biggest competition as they are around about the same prices and are distributed the same time as my magazine, and they also have the same interest as my target audience. So yes, that's why. So resources and personnel. So I've made sure to use resources such as image editing softwares to edit my photos. I'm also making sure that I'm taking my photos myself to save money on a photographer. And I'm using my own camera, and my own laptop. And I'm also interviewing models who are appropriate for the edition of my magazine, who I know and who are friends of mine as well. I'm using my own equipment, and I'm also using locations which I won't need to pay for. So, some legal and ethical issues that I've had to take into consideration for making my magazine. So the ethical issues are using recycled paper, so it's cheaper for me to produce, and also which also makes sure that it's environmentally friendly. And then some legal issues are making sure that there's no copyright involved, so that everything in the magazine is my own ideas, my own pictures, and so on. And also everything that is produced obviously comes from us, and that there's no offensive or rude language involved within the magazine. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you.
Right, do you want to kick off? Or?
Wow, that was a very confident presentation.
Thank you.
Especially with a broken foot or
Yes.
whatever. Well done.
Absolutely, just soldiering through there. Fantastic. Cool. So the brief is about a London magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and producing something that's really reflects the local scene in North London, is it? Yeah, so it's specific to North London. Do you think that what you've done here kind of really reflects North London, or does it feel a bit more kind of global? Because obviously the bands that are involved and featured here do feel a little global, perhaps, for that
Well,
remit.
when I did obviously my research and I conducted a survey, the results that I got back did say that those age range were the ones that were most interested in rock.
Yeah.
So I thought by including by showing those big rock artists, that the upcoming artists which I will be featuring in my magazine has similar music to those really popular ones globally as well.
Yeah, I mean, which I completely understand your rationale. The thinking's pretty sound. It's just that obviously all of this I don't know. I mean, the only name that I don't recognise is this Blake, which is your double page spread.
Mm-hmm.
Is Blake a North London artist? Or?
Yeah, he's a North London artist.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right.
Yeah, I would just add, if you want to meet this brief in all aspects of it, it's got to have more of a North London focus, I think. Because I think that's too subtle, it just being Blake. I think whether it's to do with your title or what else you're putting on the magazine, the other cover lines, needs to have a stronger North London focus, because that's what the brief is really about. Less kind of genre based and more North London based. My other issue, which I just spotted when you were talking there actually, is that all of these are our era, or
they are. It's
musicians like the Clash, Guns N' Roses, the Kings,
maybe not the Kings, not that old,
no, I'll let the other one. Oasis.
but yes,
They're all what
80s,
I don't know, 30s to 50-year-olds would like to look at, not 16 to 19-year-olds.
Yeah, that was the thing that really got me, was that the idea that, you know, you obviously taken a bit of a straw poll with some folk, don't know who they were, but it seems odd that 16 to 19-year-olds would really go for this sort of thing.
Any of those artists.
As opposed
really.
to, you know, your hip-hop type acts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are modern rock.
Absolutely no reason why not. I mean, my son, who's 13, listens to a lot of this sort of stuff, so it's my fault entirely. But my other son, who's 15, listens to grime. So,
I can
interesting.
understand. Yeah.
No reason why you shouldn't produce this sort of thing for that sort of demographic, but you've really got to aim it at that demographic.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, Miss said, a lot of these acts probably miss the mark a bit.
Okay.
Did you do any research in, you know, those magazines that you showed us? Did you buy those?
I bought one of them.
Okay.
The Mojo one, and I took some inspiration from their double page spreadsheets for mine.
That makes more sense now, because Mojo is actually aimed at.
It's very
a
much,
older
because I said
target
this looks like classic rock to me.
That's
what it is.
Yeah, or Q or
Or Q or Mojo, like you said, you know.
Yeah.
Rather, it doesn't. I mean, even sort of things like, I don't know, Kerrang and Metal Hammer.
Just thinking of Kerrang,
Possibly have a younger feel to. Certainly, Kerrang does. that kind of goes in a much younger demographic.
Yeah.
So you've got two
For a
choices.
similar sort of music genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got two choices really. Do you shift your target audience,
Yeah.
age group, or do you shift the content of the magazine? Because at the moment it's not gonna hit either
Yeah.
criteria. So I think that's up to you, Molly, what you'd like to do with
Entirely.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if it were me, I'd shift the demographic. Because I think you've probably got more there. And if you're talking about North London, maybe you're going to promote gigs and that sort of thing. These are the sort of people that have got the money and the time and the wherewithal to actually go to those gigs and do. So maybe that's something to
Yeah, it's
think about.
probably,
Yeah, definitely,
it's
thank
probably
you.
straightforward.
Brilliant. We've done that. When you're actually doing your presentation, you presented a mind map, which was interesting. I've not seen that before. I really like the thinking behind that.
Thank you.
It would be nice to see, if you're going to present something, try and present it in a way that looks like it's been done sort of as a polished thing. Because a mind map is actually a sort of a pre-step to a presentation. It's not something that generally gets presented. Yeah. So I'd possibly steer clear of trying to do that. I like the way that you've included it, but if you're going to include it, you're going to be purposeful about it. Do it for a reason and make sure that it's polished and it has an absolute reason for being there. It's, you know, the context is correct. Yeah.
You know, we use text to mind map and those and
Yeah.
websites and apps that really make them look strong as well. That would be really
Yeah,
useful.
Yeah.
boost it so that it looks like it's part of the presentation.
Yeah. No.
If you're trying to present something, consistency is very important. And I'd sort of say it would be nice because you've got the. If we can have your
Yeah.
presentation up again, you've got the title rocker.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you've got it on your splash screen at the front there,
Yeah.
and it's all the way through on the right hand side at the top there.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your logo?
I'm not sure if that is exactly going to be my logo, but I just thought that font and that size looked appropriate for the.
Okay. So if we go to the fonts bit, right? So there, none of those fonts are that font at the top, are they?
No.
No. So if you're going to suggest those as being your title, why not put that title in those fonts to show what it looks like? Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right not to have made the decision, that's fine. But if you're going to say it might look like this, it's great if you can actually see the logo in the font, just put the font name underneath. Yeah?
Okay.
Which would help.
You know that middle font?
Yeah.
Do you know what that actually connotes? Do you know where that's kind of used the most?
I'm not sure where it's used the most, but
Have you
Okay.
seen it anywhere?
I haven't.
No?
Okay, so with things that are very 1920s, like the Great Gatsby, and 1930s, it's used all the time.
Oh, fine.
So it's like-
probably.
It's really jazz.
It's really jazz.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just
So
thought because it was quite bold and.
Yeah.
I
It
think
would look good,
if you
but-
go back onto defont.com, I think
Yeah.
there's even a rock area that you can look at, and I think that you will find much more appropriate fonts on there
Okay.
rather than, because these are all, as far as I'm aware, straight off Word, aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, so try and look a bit further afield.
I did have some difficulties downloading some fonts, which is why unfortunately I was limited to those. But
Yeah, and that is the trouble. Obviously, free fonts
Yeah.
are limited to a degree.
yeah, but no, I
Yeah,
I
I mean, we can help you
understand
with that
what
because
you're
there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to use it across.
And there are also lots of font sites where you can put in the word that you want, and it will
Yeah.
display it. Just screenshot it.
Yeah.
saying. Okay, thank you.
You can screenshot it just black and white, and then you can manipulate that in Photoshop or whatever you're using as your photo editing software or image editing software, and then you can actually play with it a little bit more.
Yeah,
Okay, so that'll help, and
definitely.
it kind of gets around, it circumvents that having to actually buy a font, which is clearly out of the question. That's cool. So I like your mood board.
Thank
That
you.
looks very good. Probably don't want to describe a mood board on the pitch.
Very
It's there for a reason. Everyone probably knows the reason. Talk like you were about the fact that it reflects energy and you like the colours and the fonts and the styles and all that sort of stuff, okay? So just when you're doing your pitch, when you're presenting stuff, think about the story you want to tell, yeah? And what you're actually explaining to people and what they might already know and what they might not know. Okay, So that's just
Yeah.
a thing to think about.
Thank you.
That's cool. Can we have a look at your resources?
Yes.
What's resources? What are you doing?
I've only done a few points up there as I did.
Yeah, no, that's not. I think it's what you were talking about. The fact that you're going to do it all yourself. Is that
Yeah.
part of the thing?
Yeah, well, I think it's just because they've got they're independent projects. But I
Right.
think what you were being really clear about, which is great, is that you know that these things normally would be done by a lot of other people,
Yeah.
and there would be a budget related. But you were explaining how you would go
Do-
about
yeah.
it, which that's
That's
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Here's me. I have no friends. I do.
Yeah. And then I think it's probably the next. Is it the next slide? Yeah, legal and ethical.
issues, yeah.
The thing I'm going to be really pedantic. It says no offensive language.
Yeah.
Do you listen to rock?
Yes. I know. I just thought mainly, obviously this is where my target audience probably doesn't fit in that well, but I just thought because my target audience was obviously they're not really fully adults yet, it would be more appropriate to maybe not have it all over the front cover of
Okay.
the magazine, but
Yeah.
So your
which-
changing
Well,
target audience might help that too.
yeah.
Because they star things out, don't they? So you use swear words that star
I
them
think
out.
very, very few magazines do that now. I mean, I don't think newspapers do it that
No,
often.
particularly.
Because everyone's so used to language.
Yeah.
It kind of is. It's not as contentious as it once was. And you're right. Don't put it on the front cover. You know,
Yeah.
that would obviously cause offence, and that would be a problem. And legally, yes, you'd probably get into trouble because people would see you for having that on the shelves in Tesco. But I'm not sure how much of a concern it is.
Considering
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
understand
think
that.
almost, if you're worried about language and you're worried about offending people, it goes into the ethical
Yeah.
pot. But it was just a
Yeah.
thought. It was just a thing
No,
that I
yeah.
just wrote down as I was sort of going through. So that's cool. Okay. I mean, again, there was one other thing that I wanted to write down is that you've got $2.99 price point, which seems very cheap and reasonable. That's cool. But you wanted to include a CD. Right. I'm trying to think of a CD inclusive. I think Classic Rock includes a CD every month, which costs upwards of £6. Now I know they went under. I'm thinking probably December last year. They got bailed out as a company, but clearly it's one of those things that's actually about money. And if you're going to give away a CD, that's quite a labour-intensive thing to do. So I like the idea of giving away free music. I think that's a real draw. But you've got to sort of think, right, okay, if it's coupled with my price point, is it going to be an affordable option?
Yeah, I can understand that. I just thought, because obviously the CD is from an upcoming artist, it's not like it's a CD for a legendary rock star, so I thought that maybe people would feel like it's, if anything, quite a good offer, as they'd buy it more, because although the magazine itself isn't that expensive, it comes with obviously that free music which they can listen to, get to enjoy.
It's a absolutely sound.
It's a bargain for the target audience,
Yeah.
Absolutely
isn't it?
fantastic. Yeah.
It's just, it probably wouldn't be sustainable
Yeah.
every month to do that because of costs to the company. What about a digital download where they get a code inside the magazine and they
Yeah,
can
well, I did
download it?
say also that the CD was able for free downloads at the website anyway.
So you might just want to do that rather than have a big old CD stuck on the front that involves putting it all together, you know,
Yeah.
having the
Again,
CD
I mean,
made.
It's funny, I was speaking earlier on before, it's about people not actually understanding what an inlay card is for a CD, let alone, I mean, who's got a CD player that they actually use?
And there's none on computers anymore.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and
Download.
if you go for your demographic, you know, they're very young, so I doubt whether any of them have got a CD player. So maybe that's another thing to think about. So you've got to kind of, you know, you're targeting the audience and saying, right,
Yeah.
maybe if you move the demographic, you're more likely to get people with CD players. But even then, I think it's probably
Still.
unlikely that the
Okay.
majority of people will go for that. So download would be your better
The
option.
better option, yeah, okay.
Certainly cheaper, certainly more sustainable.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, definitely.
Awesome, thank you, Molly. Can you do a next version of this that's got proper columns? Because
Yes.
that would make me sad.
Okay.
These wavy lines, that
Okay.
is not a thing I really want to see. So
Yeah,
if we're
sorry.
going to have columns, is it 2 columns, is it 3
Yeah.
column, and how are they set out? It would be really
Okay.
nice to see. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.